Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Anthony Momodu. President Bola Tinubu has justified his cabinet of 47 ministers, saying the number reflects the diversity of roles required to run an efficient government. Tinubu acknowledged criticisms over his heavily staffed cabinet, stating that emerging portfolios would only heap some of officials with more burdens than they can bear. The president expressed doubt about reducing his cabinet, saying no guarantee this would boost performance. He also urged the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria to propagate the message of tolerance and hope amongst Nigerians, warning that the opposite could damage the country beyond repair. Tinubu, who emphasized the role of faith leaders in fostering unity and peace in the country, also said his administration would not relent in addressing corruption and other vices, as such endeavor sets the country right for prosperity of all Nigerians. The United States Secretary of State Antony Blinken will Tuesday met with the presidents of Nigeria and Ivory Coast in a bid to forge a united front with key African democracies as crisis engulfs the world. In Abidjan, Blinken will meet Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara, a veteran leader who has won U.S. praise for consolidating democracy, before heading to Abuja to see Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, elected last year on the platform of economic reforms. The two West African powers, one English-speaking and one French-speaking, have largely stood by the United States despite unease in much of the continent over the Western focus on arming Ukraine and, more recently, U.S. support for Israel in its war with Hamas. Africa's most populous country, Nigeria, and Ivory Coast, as well as Kenya in the East Africa, joined the United States in a United Nations vote in 2022 to condemn Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The federal government has said that more than 26,800 annual deaths in Nigeria have been attributed to tobacco-related diseases, even as 4.5 million Nigerians aged 15 and above are tobacco users. This was contained in a statement by the acting executive vice chairman, Federal Competitive Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, Adamu Abdullahi, at the formal launch of its tobacco control advocacy tagged "Don't Burn Their Future." Abdullahi said the initiative addresses the alarming rise in young and underage access to tobacco products. He added that the move also aimed to curb the detrimental impact on society. Abdullahi emphasized the dynamic nature of sound health, which encompasses physical, mental, and social well-being. The campaign underscores the collective responsibility of individuals, communities, and a prioritized health care system in fostering a healthier future for the youths. The federal government has revealed that the student loan scheme it recently initiated will be funded from education tax in collaboration with the Federal Inland Revenue Service. Chairman Zach Adedeji spoke with while briefing newsmen, along with Executive Secretary of the Student Loan Board, Dr. Akintunde Sawyer, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He stated that the introduction of the education tax fund into the scheme is one way the government could be accountable to taxpayers. Sawyer assured that the process for applying for the loan would be devoid of human intervention, as every action would be taken on an app specifically designed for the purpose. According to him, the government is keen at ensuring that young Nigerians do not fail to acquire tertiary education on account of lack of funds to pursue their studies. He explained that the implementation of the loan scheme would enable Nigerians to pick their career trajectory of their choice rather than being forced to do something else because they are unable to acquire requisite education due to lack of funds. Sawyer affirmed that the facility would also stem the dangerous journey undertaken by Nigerian youths across the Sahel to Europe in search of better life. Civil rights advocacy group Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria, HORIWA, has strongly rejected recent calls for the suspension of the National Youth Service Corps and instead advocated for enhanced security measures and increased funding. Comrade Emmanuel Owubiko, the national coordinator of HORIWA, at the press conference in Abuja Tuesday emphasized the NYSC's integral role in shaping national identity, fostering unity, and empowering the youth over its 5-decade history. HORIWA categorically rejected the proposition to suspend the NYSC, highlighting its enduring mission to bridge ethnic and cultural gaps among Nigerian youths. He expressed concern that suspending the NYSC would undermine these fundamental principles and deprive the nation of a vital institution. Owubiko acknowledged the prevailing security challenges in the country, but emphasized that the NYSC is a victim and not the root cause. The rights group called on the government to implement comprehensive security measures that safeguard all citizens, including NYSC members. The FCT Minister Nelson Wike says the federal government is working to improve the nation's economy with a view to addressing poverty, one of the drivers of insecurity. Wike, who stated this during a media interaction in Abuja, explained that poverty and the economy were two sides of a coin, just as poverty and criminality were connected. He explained that the federal government, through its subsidy removal and other economic policies, was working hard to improve the country's economy, which had been in a terrible state for a very long time. He urged Nigerians to wait patiently, adding that the measures would be, in the long run, improve economy as a practical solution to poverty reduction, while acknowledging the contribution of poverty to the rising insecurity in the FCT and the country. The minister stressed that poverty was not peculiar to the FCT alone. In a related development, the FCT administration has concluded plans to strengthen collaboration with the 4 neighboring states in the territory to tackle cross-border crimes. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, FCT Nelson Wike, made this known while addressing newsmen in Abuja. Wike pointed out that the FCTA would not succeed in curbing the tide of insecurity without the collaboration of the neighboring states. He identified the states as Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, and Kaduna, stressing that criminals from Niger and Kaduna constitute the major challenge to FCT. He explained that the coalition was to serve as a platform to support one another and reduce the level of insecurity. Meanwhile, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nelson Wike, says residents of the territory will get positive news within days with regards to efforts being made to tackle insecurity in the FCT. The minister directed the chairman of the 6 area councils of the territory to strengthen and motivate local vigilante groups as part of measures to reinforce community policing. Wike also asked the councils to procure more motorcycles for the vigilante groups to enable them to navigate difficult terrains while supporting security agencies. He said that the FCT administration would soon conclude the procurement process for more operational vehicles to support security agencies in the discharge of their responsibility. On infrastructure, the minister promised to construct 2 roads in each of the 6 area councils, in addition to the ones being constructed. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed concern about the threat of violence by partisans ahead of the February 3rd by-election and rerun. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmood Yakubu, who spoke at a meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security on Tuesday in Abuja, said from experience, the conduct of isolated elections such as by-elections and rerun elections can be very challenging, noting that election is a multi-stakeholder responsibility. Yakubu said security agencies have the responsibility of securing the environment to enable INEC deploy personnel and materials, the protection of observers, the media, as well as the polling and coalition agents representing the political parties and candidates. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has arrested 24 suspects allegedly undergoing tutelage as internet scammers in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State Capital. EFCC spokesperson Dele Oyewole said the suspects were arrested Monday following an intelligence report at a Sori building suspected to be a hideout for training internet fraudsters at the Iwet Housing Estate and Nelson Mandela, respectively. Oyewole stated that the all main suspects were arrested in 2 locations in an intelligence-driven sting operation at the D-Line Iwete Housing Estate and Nelson Mandela area, both in Uyo. Items recovered from the premises and suspects include 5 exotic cars, 18 laptops, 17 mobile phones, and 1 internet router. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission will arraign the immediate past governor of Anambra State, Willie Obiano, on 9-count charge on Wednesday, January 24th, before Justice Eya Eko of the Federal High Court, Abuja. The development comes over a week after the EFCC chairman, Ola Olukoide, vowed to review all abandoned high-profile cases, especially those involving former governors and ministers. An impeccable source revealed that Obiano moved 4.8 million naira plus from security votes into different accounts. The money at various times was changed into dollars and returned to Obiano by cash. Armed policemen Tuesday tear-gassed 16 People Democratic Party members of the Plateau State House of Assembly who were sacked by the Court of Appeal. The lawmakers had arrived at the Rayfield Old Government House in Jos alongside their supporters preparatory to their resumption of plenary when the incident happened. The policemen and other security operatives took over the premise of the government house and prevented the sacked lawyers from going into the chambers of the House of Assembly, but the lawmakers had vowed not to vacate the premises. The Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Egbetonku, has ordered the posting of 54 Assistant Commissioners of Police to head the Force Intelligence Department at zonal and state command levels nationwide. This development is coming following the recent surge in kidnapping and banditry across the country, especially in Abuja and Kaduna State. Over 69 persons were killed and 152 abducted during 194 attacks carried out by bandits and other criminals in the FCT in 2022, according to data sourced from media reports and a leading indigenous intelligence outfit, Beacon Consulting. The Force Public Relations Officer, ASP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, in a statement on Tuesday, said this was in furtherance of the upscaling of the intelligence department of the Nigerian Police Force. The Kaduna State Police Command has recorded yet another feat in the fight against crime and criminality in the state, with the arrest of a suspected gun runner and the recovery of ammunition. The incident occurred on the 17th of January when the police officers from Divisional Police Headquarters, Tudunwada, Zaria, on tactical operation duty, accosted a certain Musa Yusuf, who was on a commercial motorcycle and in possession of a suspicious handbag. He was intercepted by the police officers attached to Tudunwada Zaria Division. Investigation is still ongoing and concerted efforts made to assist his accomplices, to arrest his accomplices, I beg your pardon, after which the case will be charged to court. The Commissioner of Police, Kaduna State Command, CP Ali, has applauded the police officers and calls for more visibility policing. He charged operatives to dominate their area of responsibility and make their presence felt. This, he concluded, will deter criminals from carrying out their nefarious acts in the state. Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang has declared a 24-hour curfew on the Mangu local government area of the state with immediate effect. The development was confirmed in a statement issued on Tuesday by the governor's director of Press and Public Affairs, Gian Bere. He stated that only persons on essential duties are allowed to move within the local government area until further notice. He urged all citizens, especially residents of Mangu local government area, to comply with the directive and assist security personnel by providing reliable information to restore peace and order in the area. He lamented that some people are still determined to create an atmosphere of insecurity in the state, despite the government's efforts to end the activities of terrorist elements. He said that the decision followed the deteriorating security situation in the area. The federal government school feeding program in Osun State has resumed at St. James Primary School, B. Owopoe, Oshogbo, after it was suspended in December following the alleged poisoning of some pupils. About 18 pupils of St. James's Primary School ended up in the hospital after taking a midday meal of rice with egg and vegetables on Monday, December 11, 2023. The incident generated an uproar in the state as the stakeholders demanded a thorough probe, making the state government to suspend the feeding program in the school. The state government directed a probe into the incident and subjected the affected pupils to tests at the Osun State University Teaching Hospital, Oshogbo, after which the State Commissioner for Education, Dikbo Oluwole, said the pupils were all certified well except one that was observed to be suffering malnutrition. Speaker of Ogun State House of Assembly, Honorable Kunle Oluomo, has been impeached as the Speaker of the Ogun State House of Assembly. 18 of the 36 members of the State Assembly voted for Oluomo's impeachment at plenary session on Tuesday. Oluomo was impeached for alleged embezzlement of funds, high-handedness, and related offenses ranging from financial fraud to leadership tussle at the State Assembly. His impeachment may not be unconnected to many allegations against him. In his place, Honorable Oludasi Elemide has been appointed as the new Speaker. You're watching AM News, coming to you live from Nigeria's capital. We are on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When AM News returns, federal government moves FAN headquarters from Abuja to Lagos. The news continues shortly with details of these and more stories right after this break. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcast of the AM News. Thank you for staying with us. And still in the news, the federal government has authorized the relocation of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria FAN from Abuja to Lagos. FAN has stated that its relocation to Lagos is in the best interest of the country, admitting that relocation wasn't an overnight decision but was made after wide consultations by the new management with stakeholders, which also involved the unions. In a statement, it pointed out that some of the reasons behind this move, stating that it is in the best interest of the authority and the country in general. The Airport Regulatory Agency said those affected by the decision to move the headquarters to Abuja have since returned to Lagos, as there is no office space for them in Abuja. On the foreign scene overnight, Russian missiles attack across Ukraine, including the capital Kiev and second city Kharkiv, have killed 3 people and injured dozens. Regional officials made this known on Tuesday. Sounds of air raid sirens echo over the capital at night, followed by a series of loud blasts, likely from air defense systems responding to the Russian targets. Ukraine's army chief, Valery Zaluzhny, said on social media that Russian forces had fired 41 missiles, including cruise and ballistic missiles, and that his forces had downed 21 of them. The worst hit city was Kharkiv, lying just next to the Russian border, where the mayor said 2 people had died and nearly 40 injured. NATO on Tuesday signed a contract worth $1.2 billion to acquire over 200,000 155mm artillery shells in the face of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Members of the Western Military Alliance have drained their socks, sending shipment of heavy ammunition to help Ukraine's forces battle Russia in a brutal war of attrition. The latest deals signed with French firm Nexter and Germany's Junghans Mikotech are estimated by officials to cover around 220,000 shells and deliveries to NATO members, with start at the end of 2025. Israel said Tuesday 24 soldiers were killed in the biggest single-day losses since the start of its ground war in Gaza, and growing pressure on the government to find a way to end the conflict. The heavy clashes came as a White House official was due in the region for the talks aimed at securing more hostages releases, and as U.S. media reported, a new Israeli proposal for a deal that would involve 2-month pause in fighting. 24 soldiers were killed on Monday, with the army saying 21 of them were reservists slain when rocket-propelled grenade fire hit a tank and 2 buildings they were trying to blow up. More than 200 people attended the funeral of one of the reservists, Hadar Kapeluk, whose coffin was dropped with an Israeli flag at Mount Herz Military Cemetery in Jerusalem. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Tuesday pledged $45 million in additional financing to help fight conflict and bring stability to coastal West Africa, where insecurity linked to jihadist insurgencies has increased in recent years. Blinken is on the second stop of a 4-nation tour of Africa, taking him to Cape Verde, Ivory Coast, Nigeria, and Angola from January 21st to 26th. The purpose of the trip is to discuss U.S.-African partnership over trade, climate, infrastructure, health, security, and other issues. The funding will supplement the $300 million the U.S. has already invested in coastal West Africa over the past 2 years. Let's turn to business. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps said its men destroyed 4 illegal oil refining sites in Khartoum Channel 1 in the Gema local government area of Rivers State. The Corps said suspected oil thieves vandalized facilities, including pipes belonging to Sahara Oil siphoned the crude oil and thereafter established an illegal refining site. The spokesperson for the NSCDC Rivers State Command, Olufemi Ayodele, disclosed this in a statement issued in Port Harcourt on Monday night. The statement said the state commandant ordered massive destruction of all materials used in carrying out the illegal oil bunkering, and over 4 different refining stations have been destroyed altogether, and noted that the suspects took to their heels upon citing the marine operatives. And that's how we call it a wrap on the AM News. I am Anthony Momodu. Good morning.